In section 2.6, we're going to be talking about the midpoint formula. So let's say we have line segment AB with coordinates x1, y1, and x2, y2. The midpoint of that line segment M would be the coordinate x1 plus x2 divided by 2, and then y1 plus y2 divided by 2. We're basically just finding the middle between A and B. Now definitely make sure you have this formula highlighted in your notes. In example problem number 1, AB has endpoints A at 7, 5 and B at 2, negative 4. I want to find the coordinate of its midpoint, M. So we're going to use that midpoint formula that we have written down, and then we're just going to plug in first our endpoints for our x-coordinates, which is 7 and 2, and then we're going to divide that by 2, and then match up our y-coordinates, 5 plus negative 4 divided by 2. It's important here to match up your x-coordinates together and your y-coordinates. Then we're going to simplify that, so we get 9 halves and 1 half. I think that when we're talking about coordinates in terms of like graphing and stuff, it's easier to look at these in a decimal. So this answer would totally be right, but I would personally write this down as 4.5 comma 0.5. Just because if you ever have to graph this, it'll be easier to do if you see it in a decimal. In our next example problem, we have the midpoint of CD is coordinate M at negative 2, 1. One of the endpoints is C at negative 5, 7. What's the coordinate of the other endpoint? So this problem's a little bit different because here we're given a midpoint and an endpoint. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to use the same formula, but we're going to write the midpoint here. Then we're given one endpoint, so we're given one x-coordinate and one y-coordinate, so we're going to write those here. Now we're going to split off this problem basically into two parts to solve for our other x-coordinate and our other y-coordinate. And it's going to look something like this. Negative 2 equals negative 5 plus x over 2, and 1 equals 7 plus y over 2. I'm going to solve for x and solve for y separately and write them as one coordinate. So I'll solve for x separately. I get 1 equals x. When I solve for y, I get negative 5 equals y. So that tells me that the coordinate of my other endpoint is at 1, negative 5.